when I think we were babysitting Kyle's niece. And she had said something like, Stephanie was kidnapped.
I didn't see the car. All I seen was taillights, and I'm just going. And my husband, he's like, she's gone. So I had a dream that she was kidnapped. She's gone. And I'm like, what are you doing having that dream, you know?
Okay, let's see.
What's that? Is that the TV?
Shane. It's Shane on his phone.
Shane, put on your earbuds.
What? Why is it on here? Why'd you drop her off?
She told me to. She said she had to go home. He's recording us.
Do we have a...
What? What?
That?
I don't know what that is.
Will you hand me that mug, Sam? Is there anything in here? Something. Alright.
Please leave your message.
She didn't answer.
Well, she's gone then, huh?
I could try the other.
Try the other one. This is a sequel podcast special edition. Might not be a full hour. Might only be 15 minutes.
Do you think it'll get to 15 minutes even?
Yeah. You don't even know what I'm going to talk about.
No, but I'm just meaning as in, you don't think one of the kids are going to come out acting crazy?
I hope not.
That's a lot of faith you have. Tons of faith.
Sage, Donnie, come here real quick.
You should be recording this already.
I am.
Okay.
Alright, stay, hold on. We're going to do something important, alright? Will you guys stay in there and be good until we're done? Alright. Thank you.
You making a song?
No, we're doing something else.
She's not going to answer, so.
Why not? What's her number?
It goes straight to voicemail.
Oh.
So it's like she turned it off. I could try the other number.
Sure, try them all.
No.
I don't know if I have her number.
Okay.
This one. What's this number? 263-1229.
Oh, it's right there.
Her phone?
Her phone's right there.
Oh, well, shit. So does she have another phone?
Yeah, but it's straight to voicemail.
What's this phone that I called? Does she have that one?
She has the
263-1229?
Nope. Oh, wait. Did I not? Hold on.
Well, I'm Matt Bonta, and I'm here with my brother Sam Knowles and my sister Steph Knowles.
Please leave your message for...
Well, damn. It would have been nice to have her here for this.
Yes.
And,
what do you got going on?
well, you'll know as soon as I say the words here.
Oh, no. I'm not sure about this. Let's see what this is.
You know what it is?
No, but that makes me nervous.
I want to get this down on wax.
Oh, God.
About when you were kidnapped, Stephanie.
See, well, Mom needs to be here because she knows
Donnie,
the
what did I say?
Details.
That'll make me laugh.
Thomas, you just told us. Come on.
I can only give you...
You can only give me so much, what you remember. That's why it'd be... And there's different
Well,
sides
yeah,
of the conversation.
Mom would be like, dang it, Mom.
Well,
I remember.
Where is she at?
At her house.
So, but her phone's dead?
Yeah. What, we're going to get in the car and go pick her up?
No, we're not. Because I could have to leave any minute, realistically.
Right, as soon as she tells you.
It's down the street.
Yeah, but still, you have to...
I mean, well, technically, it's like podcasting while we go there.
Yeah.
No, because I might have to leave at the drop of a hat.
All right.
Like, I could have to leave while you're gone.
No, I was saying all of us in the car. Bam. Okay.
No.
Let's get what we can get then.
Okay. So what year was this?
This was 1991.
What was going on in your life?
So wait, 91?
Yes.
I was only a couple months old.
So Sam's not going to know anything.
Oh, yeah. I remember it.
No, you don't.
That was imprinted on him. The emotions
I
of
remember,
it.
like, talking about it, like...
Throughout life?
I'll say what I know, like, after she...
And, like, your little bits of, like, you know, because you heard the stories, too, and stuff,
Tell us what's going on in your life.
So what... Yeah, what is... So you guys were moving.
Oh, okay. No. Okay, so... I don't remember that we were moving, right? So in my recollection of it,
You were just traveling?
we lived in Tennessee.
Okay.
So we lived in Tennessee, and I could picture the apartments we lived in. So it was like a brick apartment.
How old were you?
I was 3, and it was like a 4.
Do you know where
type
in
of duplex.
Tennessee?
It was actually in Marysville, Tennessee. And I told Mom about it, and she told me the address. And tell me why, when I Googled it, it was what I remembered. Like,
Oh, what was the address?
exactly. I don't remember. It was like
Still looks
low
the same?
income apartments. And
cool.
so it was these
When
brick
you saw
apartments.
It, like bad memories flushed.
No, but I was just like, yeah, that's kind of
Click it,
basically
click it.
how it, not those though. So it was
Click
more
it.
like, but it was only like 4 of them together. So it wasn't exactly that, right? And
Say like housing projects.
it might have been actual housing we
Like,
were
yeah,
in.
like the government housing.
But I remember those. I remember that one of the neighbors had kids and I would play with them. So that was like
Do you have
totally
names?
No, I just know that there was 2 kids older than me and 1 younger than me. That was an actual like baby.
Well, okay. So say that again, what you just said.
There was 2 kids.
2 kids.
Yes.
And one was older than you?
They had 2 older kids.
And were those boys,
then-
girls?
No, so it was
What
a
was
boy
their
and a
family
girl.
whole situation? It was a couple.
So from what I remember, it was a man, his wife. He had 2 kids that were older than me and 1 baby. So there was 3 total of
and
kids.
2 boys.
I don't remember what the baby was, but it was a boy and a girl.
That
The
you
ones that
play
were
with?
older than me, and I play with them.
A lot older than you, or just
No, like maybe a
Playable?
year.
like old
No.
enough to play with you?
Yeah, like we were in the same age group to hang out, and it's not weird or anything like that.
Do you remember what they were like at all?
So I think it's more like normal, like just
Like the
there was
parents?
the parents. The dad was like a creepy vibe, you know what I'm saying? And I don't remember the lady. I remember a lady, but I can't.
What did they look like?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I can't
What was
envision their
what
face.
were people's names?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like see Mom has all that. I don't have that. I just remember playing with their kids and stuff. And I
trying
remember
her number.
in this situation, so from what Mom says, we were moving. So we were leaving there.
Do you
So
remember the day before this happened?
no, it was just like every day. So like
91 makes you 4 years old? 4 years
3
old.
years old.
3 years old.
It's funny how like moving's kind of like not a big deal, but like kind of
And we
somewhat.
had did it a
And, like,
lot,
Yeah,
though.
but to you,
Mhm.
it's just like you don't even realize the situation, how, or like it's just a normal day.
Yeah.
You know, being so little. It's
I was
just
so
funny.
little and we'd moved before, so it was kind of like okay.
What time
You
of
weren't
year
thinking
was
nothing of
this?
it.
Summertime.
Summertime?
Mhm.
Okay.
You don't remember
Summertime.
the exact time?
No.
Dang, that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
you don't dwell on this, huh? Like
I forget about it. It completely leaves my mind.
not that you tried to or nothing.
Until like I go somewhere with my kid and I'm afraid like, oh my god, someone's gonna snatch her. And I never thought I had a real problem with it until having kids. And then once I had Sage, talk about
Do you
PTSD.
think that you
It
like
fucking hit me.
unconsciously like
I block it out.
put it away?
Yeah. I would say, I mean like
Okay, go on with the story.
I don't know.
Sorry.
It's okay, you're asking about it.
Alright, so you're.
Summertime.
It had to be about summertime, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
so
remember.
we-
There was no snow, and I know in Tennessee at least it gets colder, and yeah, so summertime. It happened at nighttime, like when I rode in the car. I remember. It
Okay,
being
so
dark.
so you left Tennessee.
No, we didn't even make it out of Tennessee.
Well, okay, you left your old home.
Yes, so we were leaving, and for whatever
Can we have them
reason,
turn that down? Is that them or is that Shane?
I think it's Shane. For whatever reason, so we're leaving, and
that's
they're
nice.
leaving at the same
Just
time.
needs to turn it down.
You know what I mean? And I'm not knowing why, but I'm like I want
So
to
you
play
guys
with
are
their
moving.
kids.
You guys are moving.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick it up. You're picking that up real good.
Oh, yeah.
And so imagine, okay, so both low income families.
So you,
Moving.
Mom, Dad,
And me.
and Sam
Sammy.
are leaving Tennessee,
Yeah.
and so are they.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly everyone's headed to Reno.
I have no idea.
You were just moving.
Yep.
Okay. And
I don't even know if they were going to the same place as us.
And so you guys, so keep going.
So we're leaving, and obviously I wanted to play with our kids. I can't play with Sam. He's just a baby. And
Nothing's
I remember
changed.
saying, "Oh, I want to play with them. Can I ride with them?" And then Mom
Do you
said,
remember what kind of cars?
"No."
Okay, all right.
And Mom said,
So all this information Mom would have.
No, you can't ride with them. No.
Right.
But she told me I kept like hounding her, and she finally said, "Okay, until the next gas station, I'll let you ride with them and play with the kids." And I got in the car and I played with kids. And on my part, I'm thinking I'm just driving with these people until I meet up with my family, until it starts getting later, and I'm not stopping to get with them. Yeah, and then I'm like, well, where's my mom and dad? And there's no real response at first. And then I don't remember getting a response until later. I'm not saying that they didn't, but I mean, I was so little, like from my memory.
Did you start crying or anything?
Oh, definitely. I was crying, and I was just saying I want my mom and dad. And I remember San Francisco. So from Tennessee to San Francisco, I have a blackout. I don't remember that in this time. Like, I have no recollection of what happened.
And like they drove
They drove from Marysville, Tennessee, all the way to San Francisco.
How far is that a drive?
It's across. It's gotta
Like
be
days?
like you could probably do maybe like a day and a half. I would
But
assume.
they probably took a little longer because.
Or they just stopped,
or maybe
went,
they
stopped,
went.
went.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
And so I only remember San Francisco. But in that time, from Mom's recollection and what she said happened was when they got to the next gas station, nobody showed up. And they
you
waited.
said this was at night.
Yes. And they waited.
So
and
they
then
were
went
at
back.
the gas station at nighttime.
Yes.
And they waited. Do you remember what kind of gas station?
I would have no idea,
Okay, okay.
See,
Like, all those things Mom
I-
know. I can only tell you what
I
she told
remember
me
like
about that.
I remember Mom saying something like, they were behind, they were following that car or something. I think I could be wrong, but I think, and then all of a sudden, it got dark, and then all you could see is just taillights, and then Dad was like,
so it was the sun was up when they were waiting.
no, like there's
When they're driving.
following these people.
So they were following. They were following.
Mom and Dad was,
To go to the next gas
Mom and Dad
station.
was behind them, following them, and then the sun went down, and then all they could see is taillights and can't make out who's who.
Sure.
And then Mom says Dad was like, she's gone.
Before you even
Like,
get to the gas station.
He realized like they took her, fucking. Maybe
because
like they didn't know
Dad
for sure,
had
but,
a
like,
dream
oh yeah, he had a dream
the night before that he
had
got
the
a
night
phone
before.
call saying, "We found your baby girl."
Interesting.
So Dad had that dream before all of this had happened.
Right.
And Dad's had dreams before, but it
Kinda
comes true.
like-
It's not exact, but it's like, wait, what? So he had that dream, and that's what made him. He was like, she's gone, because of that dream and not knowing where we were. And then when they got to the gas station, we weren't there, and they waited.
So what did Mom do? Did they call the cops?
They
from
called the
gas station?
cops, yes.
Right away
And then,
from the gas station.
and they said to go back to the last gas station you were at or whatever. So Mom said she went back to where they were before, and we weren't there. And then finally, then they called the cops again or whatever, and then they were telling her it hasn't been 24 hours.
Or
And my
then Mom went back to the place, their house or whatever. That
their
they were in,
apartment, and
went
was
through all
like
their
banging
shit.
on the doors,
Right.
but nobody was there. But they left things inside of their house, because it wasn't like I said, it was maybe they didn't pay their rent, so they were moving. Do you get what I mean? Like, is it low income people?
Yeah, we
didn't pay
I
their
don't-
rent.
I don't
Were just
know the whole
bouncing.
story. If maybe Mom and
So
Dad
91
were all leaving or something. I don't
91
know.
puts you at 3. Put Sam at a couple of months old. How old were Mom and Dad?
Mom was 20.
Mom's 21. Dad is
Well, how much older is
37?
he then?
Dad's
37,
37. Yeah, something.
Okay.
16 years.
God, 21 years old.
Yeah.
I know,
Meanwhile, I'm
right?
38 right now.
Yeah.
21 and had 3
And
kids
she
already.
literally just had
her
Sammy.
3, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like...
Yeah, how much more
Comparing
of an
yourself
adult-
to her in this situation.
fucking- she
Well,
was
it's
just a
like I
kid.
said, like that first movie that I made, right? You know, where I kidnapped Kyle or whatever, like, we're older than they were now or then or whatever
Right?
it was.
Isn't that weird to think?
Yeah, 'cause that was 20 years ago. Is that mom? You got mom?
No, it's still off. I don't have any other radio.
That you tried again, still off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine
Do
like
you
right
have
now.
mom's a different number for mom or?
It's just those,
I
yeah.
could try it.
Try it. Yeah, so mom was 21, dad was 37. What kind of facial hair did he have?
He was clean shaven, I'm assuming
He was
then, or
clean
just
shaven.
I think like
beard?
like the down the thing
the
down
handlebar
here.
mustache?
God, I wish.
Any
Like,
pictures that I could.
What
remember
color
back then.
hair did mom have? Oh yeah, I
she
guess you got
probably
version?
no. I think she had.
Alright.
I think mom had bleached hair at the time. Cause didn't she have when she had you? It was like dark roots with bleach. I think at the time, or somewhere
Any
around then.
Sacramento
She did that.
pictures are like the earliest pictures that I could think of.
Like
It
I
was
have a picture
that.
of me when I
It
was
like
that
blonde
age
with
and
like
when I got
the
kidnapped.
roots coming out or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe it's just like remember her when we were younger. looking
Yeah, I
at-
don't know if that's
it's hard.
exactly how it was. Because
Okay.
there's no pictures of me at that age. Like,
So no one's alive then?
What do you
Except
mean?
mom.
That knows about it?
Yeah.
Grandma
Sure.
Laura and Grandpa Marty. But Grandma Laura doesn't know much, just what she was told. But Grandpa Marty's the
did
one
Grandpa
who
Marty show up?
he did. He
Hold
drove
on. Okay, hold on.
straight
Let's
to
not.
Reno.
No, let's
okay.
quit jumping. So you went from Tennessee to San Francisco.
Yes.
All right, and then what was
So-
your experience in San Francisco?
Wait. Let's finish what mom went. Mom went back to, or mom and dad went back to their place.
Mom
back
and
to that place.
yeah, mom and dad broke into their apartment
Right.
and went
there's,
through all their
like-
stuff.
Right.
And they found a phone book
Okay.
with numbers, and she started calling everyone in the phone book, trying to say, "Hey, where are these people?" Like
Cops aren't doing anything.
but they're looking at mom and dad
probably
like they're
like-
trash.
Yeah,
And, like, they
they're shitty
probably did
cops back
something.
Then, you know,
Mhm.
like this is '90s.
And they told mom during this whole time though, they were like hit cops, and they told mom like where in the story, I'm not sure that they said this, but they told mom that she needed to get the hell out of their town.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like it was stirring up stuff, obviously.
They're lazy and didn't want to do shit.
Yeah, and
fucking-
they just assumed,
Uh-huh.
like whatever they would. And then mom got got the phone book. She
Yep.
called people. She got a hold of their parents and was like, "Hey, blah blah blah. This is the situation." And the parents said, "Oh, we hear from them like every 5 years. Like, good luck if they call us." But not to jump ahead, but they happened to call their parents and ask their parents.
So yeah,
for
this is
help.
what mom.
Before?
This is later
Yeah,
on.
so from what I know, like to cut in right here, mom told me that maybe it was you or did you
You heard
say
somewhere.
this that like they didn't talk. None of their family had ever really or don't talk to. Did you just say this? Like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, they didn't talk to him, and then they got lucky. Like they don't talk to him ever, but then it happened to be just like that once time a year or whatever and they called their family member.
Yeah.
And then so their family member was able to tell them and then get a hold of mom or something.
So they ratted them out?
Yes. So what happened was, so I was gone for like 31 days, okay?
Yeah.
Or like a little over 31 days, something like that.
So you were
right?
gone for
over a
all
month. Yes. So between
That is
the day that I went missing and mom and dad called and got a hold of their parents, it was over a month before they had called them.
Mom says like if
And got a hold
she
of
didn't
them.
have me, that she would probably like killed herself or you know like lost it completely. You know like your
The only thing
child.
that kept it
Yeah,
together.
like, yeah, you know like I can imagine like you think you only have one kid and the kid's gone.
Well, I mean, I'm
She
still
had-
alive.
But I was right there, fucking.
Not he's
I don't
meaning
know,
like
I
during
know,
the situation.
I know.
Like she felt as if she lost like she lost me. Which I mean, she did, you know, whether or not it was just a mistake
What if
that
they
anyone
took us
can
both,
make.
dude? Fucking.
Yeah, it could have happened too. So, like I said, I was gone for
If they
over a
would have took
month.
me, I would have never got found for sure.
And
Okay.
during that time, I'll tell you what mom said, okay? And then I'll tell you what I remember from my part. So during that time, mom said that she called news stations, called everyone, and she called America's Most Wanted.
Right.
and she said that she was going to be on the show, and they were gonna like say, you know, like this girl's missing, blah blah blah.
This shit just
and they
started, right?
found me the day before Mom was going to be on the television.
On American Most Wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Did she film something?
What news places was she calling? What
Just
city?
in this Marysville. This is in
Tennessee?
Marysville, Tennessee. And then, but she, like she said, the cops weren't helpful. They told
Well,
her
how'd
to
they
get
find them? How'd they find you?
the
The
parents.
Okay.
Because they called, so the people that kidnapped her,
A month later,
whoever it was, the husband, the wife, they called their parents
a month
and
later,
asking for help, right?
yes,
Like
and
they were freaking out or
told
something.
them, they needed help because they were poor
They
people.
said that the
They
cops were
legit.
Oh, they weren't going to get rid of you. They
Huh?
were like needed money or
No,
something?
no, yeah. Tell them what they were doing. Tell them what they were
They
doing.
kidnapped me.
Steph wasn't
for,
the only kidnapped one.
Right, I know
Okay.
I know that
Yeah.
much.
But they kidnapped me to do welfare fraud.
Right, but then they
But so they
called
still
the
needed
parents,
money,
right,
yeah.
so they called
Like
the parents.
so, I'm assuming. Look, they probably weren't planning on going to San Francisco.
Let's say that
I
clearly.
think that they took
So the audience
this.
The other kids that were with you, that were their kids, at least one of
One
them
of them wasn't there.
was
So
also a
there was-
kidnapped
There
child.
was
Yeah.
3 kids.
And one of them was already kidnapped.
Yeah.
So living with them and shit.
Yeah.
You don't know which one, but at least
One of them, yeah. Because I don't know.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
Mom
think
told
of
me.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Back then you could do
Now
that.
you're
though.
saying
And get away
you're
with
saying
it.
at least one of the 3?
Were
How do you know that it wasn't like all 3?
because I think so. When I got found and everything, and Mom had to talk to like the police and like sign paperwork and all this stuff before she could even take me home, they had told her
They had told her.
that not all those kids were their
Oh,
biological
but they
kids.
didn't say
Which ones or whatever.
The
So
police told Mom that?
yeah, that's how Mom knew. Like,
which
oh,
police told her this.
in San Francisco.
Okay.
Okay, so
FBI?
yes, so Mom's back. I don't know how long Mom is there, but she goes back to Reno. You know, like she has to leave, go back to Reno, but they're still looking for me in this whole process or
Well,
whatever.
there's no like point in staying in Tennessee with no help. Or
exactly,
nothing,
like
you know,
it wasn't gonna
she
help
needed to go with their
them.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but like she's still trying to find it. She's supposed to be on America's Most Wanted, blah blah blah, or whatever
Do
it
you
was
remember
called.
this,
I don't
Matt?
know. But she's gonna be on with John Walsh.
You don't remember this? Like no, like.
See, that's
trauma?
why it'd be nice if Mom. No, I don't. Not
Mm-hmm.
at all. Right. I think the first time I heard about it was when I think we were babysitting Kyle's niece. And
Oh,
she had
wow.
said
Dang.
something like, Stephanie was kidnapped.
Dang.
And I'm like,
Really?
what?
Oh my
Yeah,
god, you
'cause
didn't
I know
know?
this since
I was
I
like, no,
was,
she
like-
wasn't.
I've known it since I was old enough to like remember.
Yeah, but you guys were
But you
together.
lived
Oh, yeah, I
it,
know, I
yeah.
know.
And I was sheltered
Yeah, I know,
And you
no,
gotta
no,
think though,
fucking-
at 6
And-
years old.
but we
but
came
Grandma
back
knew
and
about
Grandma
it.
picked me up at
Right,
the
that's what I'm
airport.
saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they told
No,
me.
no, I was
I
gonna
know,
say they
it's
probably
weird.
didn't though. Why would they?
Yeah, why would they?
Because that might
Especially if
make
I'm
you
5, 6 years old.
traumatized. Yeah, like the thought, like
Oh,
wait,
God.
my
Maybe I
sister?
wouldn't even get it.
No,
Yeah.
you would have been old enough to get scared or something, though. Honestly, too.
Or like, yeah, you know, like, or you don't want to talk about bad
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Because I wonder if
That's crazy. That's weird. Okay. The whole situation is weird. Okay.
That's why it'd be nice if Mom were here because we
to
could
fill
have,
in the blanks.
Yeah, fill in
Maybe
the
she
blank.
would.
Did
Yeah.
you tell Ma'am? Did you tell?
Do you know
Poppy,
about
what
Ma'am or
happened?
do you know?
No, all I
Anyone
know is that
else's-
when they picked me up from the airport,
You guys
Ma'am
should
was
quit tapping
there.
the table.
Oh, sorry. Ma'am was there and Poppy Marty was there.
Where?
Wait.
The airport.
So grandma,
to
Ma'am,
pick
and
me
Papa Marty?
and Mom up at the airport. And
Okay,
Reno.
well, see now you're skipping again.
Yeah, sorry.
So
It goes back and forth like that because you think of things.
So Mom goes to Reno. You don't know how long she's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
She goes to Reno, and when she's in Reno, she's talking to the America's Most Wanted people.
I don't know. Like, so I just remember stories, but I don't know exactly.
They probably
What?
have a headquarters in California, and
So
then
then
they
maybe
probably
it's
send a
every
film
city.
crew
To do
No,
it.
Probably just
Oh
California.
wait! You're talking about America's Most Wanted?
Well, yeah, like
Okay.
John Walsh is probably in California.
Uh-huh.
They'd send
Yeah,
a
yeah.
camera crew out to wherever Mom is.
No, they were
bring
gonna
out-
fly Mom. I think.
Oh, they were gonna fly her down to
Yeah.
L.A. or wherever they had
Uh-huh.
a studio. Fox, probably. Okay, but you don't know. So she's just waiting.
I guess, yeah. Hopeful. In her mind, she said I was never coming back. So as much as she was
And
hopeful,
what about
I
Dad?
think
What was that?
Mom said. Oh, sorry. Mom said Dad just buried
Started
himself
drinking.
under the blankets, drank more and more and more. And like she said, it was taking care of Dad and you
Did you ever
while
watch
me gone. You know.
The Lovely Bones? You ever watch The Lovely Bones? I wonder if it was like that. Did you see it? Yeah, I probably watched that.
Okay.
It's probably a lot like that.
She said it was fucked up though.
Well, the dude kidnaps her and kills her, and they never find out. And that's...
Dude, Steph, you could have been, like, trafficked or something, you know, like...
Yes, I know. I think... So when
all
I
right,
watched...
so, okay, so all we know is that she did some detective work in Tennessee, went back to Reno, and
The family
talked
members
to America's Most Wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Family members told those people that they're being
But they
they're
haven't
wanted.
even been talked
How
to.
did they
them.
get a whole... How did... And, you know, what was that? Was there...
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so what do you
So
remember?
what I remember from my perspective is being in San Francisco, living in like shoddy motels, and it's like those motels that you know how Motel 6 is on the outside, like the doors on the outside. That's not how they were. They were like all inside.
In the hallway and shit.
Yeah, like inner hallways, dark,
that's
scary, like gloomy type of feel
yeah.
to this, and
Did it feel
I
like
lived
forever?
in those. Yes.
What'd you say?
And when
It
I
feel
would
like forever, it's a month. So,
So when I would ask where my mom and dad is, they said they don't want you no more. We're your parents now.
Wow.
So I started believing that. I thought, well, they haven't come to get me, so it's true. Like they just totally left me, and
They changed your name?
yeah, they cut my hair. Like I had long hair. They cut it like a bob. Changed my name to Mary, and I went by Mary with them. I remember sitting in cars and like they would go in to like get food and stuff. Basically like whatever their car was, but they always just drug us everywhere with them. Like maybe it was like to get welfare type stuff. You know, we're all always going somewhere, and I was told to say I was Mary. So what did it? I'm Mary.
They're probably hitting each city's welfare place.
Along the way, maybe.
Yeah, you know, and then getting money for her with,
And I remember,
you know, like
I
that's
mean,
what,
well, how would
that's what they were doing with the kids. Like that's
because
why
at
they're
the
kidnapping
time,
them.
back then, you didn't have to
The
have all the
computers couldn't,
proof
like, yeah, you couldn't.
like you do now.
They wouldn't be, oh, this kid isn't your kid. It took them a while for that to come back, you know. So they'd give them a check for the kids, you know,
And they
but
just
it-
want to go back to prove the information and stuff. Because back then you would get cash aid and like the food
That's what
stamps
their
and
thing
stuff.
was. That's what their fucking scam was, or whatever.
But I remember I hated
I
them.
remember
I
Steph
lived
didn't eat
off top ramen.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna
That's
say.
it. That's why I don't
Yeah,
fucking
no,
touch
I
that
know.
stupid shit. Top ramen, like that's all they fed me, and I just despised it. And
It's
I
like
just
that movie Old Boy. You ever see Old Boy?
yeah, but I don't remember like what part.
Or they only feed him one thing over and over again. So when they let him go 20 years later,
That's
the
all.
way he finds them is like, let's go to Chinese food and try those dumplings. Didn't taste like them. This
Wasn't
Chinese
it?
food doesn't
Oh,
taste like those
shit.
dumplings. This Chinese doesn't taste like those dumplings. So when he finds the dumplings that they fed him, he triangulated.
where
That's
he
cool.
was.
I don't see that movie. Look, Old Boy. Oh,
Gosh, that makes sense though, you know. But yeah, I just remember like a feeling of always having like, okay, I knew something was wrong no matter what. You know what I mean? Like I knew
So how did that feel knowing that your
something-
mom and dad didn't want you no more?
it was awful. And I was just like, how, why? Do you get what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like no matter what, I never felt unloved by my parents.
Did they say
So
I
it
love
was-
you or anything like that to you?
No, it was just
Did
you
they
know,
say
I
call
just
me mom
playing
and
with-
dad?
yes, we're your mom and dad. You know what I mean?
That's
but
your
I
brother,
don't.
that's your sister.
I don't recall calling them that unless I was around people like that. You know what I mean? Like,
You
What
don't
would you have to
remember what
do?
they look like?
no, I can't.
What'd you have to do when you went to? Did you already know how to go to the bathroom by yourself and shit?
Yeah, oh yeah, but
So
I
you
don't.
didn't need their
I
help.
potty
don't.
trained.
Those
Yeah.
things you don't remember.
I don't remember bathing. I don't remember.
Going to the bathroom and shit. Yeah.
The only thing I remember that for whatever reason, it's cemented in my mind. So it was something I didn't like, obviously, you know, as I remember I was playing with the kids, but we were in somebody else's hotel room and the football or ball hit me in the head. And I don't know if it was the guy, the dad, or somebody else. But I remember he put me on his lap and he was kissing my head where...
Oh, God.
And I remember my body, like, completely being like, you're a bad person, this is not good. But that's it. Like, nothing else happened that I can recall. I'm just being honest, that I can recall. But I just knew that was wrong, and it never left my brain to this day, you know?
Yeah, you
But-
can't remember playing with the kids in this time?
No,
Like,
I remember playing with the kids and stuff. Like, they weren't mean kids. You know, it wasn't like that thing, like, they're mean to me because I'm this new person. It probably was just we band
They
together.
probably didn't really know
you
what
know?
was going on.
Yeah.
You know, the other kid was already kidnapped himself or herself.
But I remember
Try
that,
her.
and That's all I remember in San Francisco is always having to, go to these places and say I was Mary.
And so that's all you remember. Oh, okay.
And then I remember when they found me.
All right, and then what was that?
So I remember police coming or being by police. Okay, so I don't know if they came to the hotel. I don't know
They probably
if
got
we went
them
to
coming in
them
and
or
out.
what.
They probably
Yeah.
got the people coming in and
But
out of the
exactly,
place.
so I don't remember
They
that.
kicking the door or nothing, probably not.
Yeah, nothing scary like that happened, but I remember being surrounded by police officers. I remember them talking on the phone, and I remember them letting me talk to Mom on the phone.
Who, the
And
cops?
The cops. Oh, sorry, yeah. I remember the cops, and
Like
the
uniform
cops
police?
allowed me, uniform police, and then there was like a social worker type person.
A woman or a
woman.
man? Okay.
And I remember them letting me talk to Mom on the phone. And I remember it was like an outer body experience. So, like, I could literally picture
we'll see
myself.
yourself.
Right. Well, you're taking your memory and looking at it like a movie.
Yes, exactly. So I remember telling Mom that she didn't have to sleep with my jacket anymore. And I guess that's what Mom and Dad did every night. They slept with my jacket because that's all they had, really,
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I remember...
You don't remember if Mom told you that they were doing that, or if you just said that?
I just remember saying it. And then
Because there's this interesting thing that I like heard on like a podcast where this dude Sal from Impractical Jokers was on Tennessee Dave, and he was talking about, they were like a Christmas episode, and he's like, there's a picture of me crying on Santa Claus's lap.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't know if I have that memory or if I created that memory from the stories that I was told about.
Well, that makes
picture.
sense, definitely, though. Like, when we tell a story or hear a story about ourselves, we envision it, so...
Right, and I realize now sometimes...
Like, what if?
We're telling stories that maybe we weren't even around for, as if we were there. And we tell them so many times that sometimes the embellishments or whatever come off as, like, that's how it was, right? And you forget that, like... That's the punchline of the joke story, or right, and it loses... And that's how, myths and legends...
It's not even a genuine memory. It's like a memory of the story you told. Or,
Yes, it's a memory of the story that was told.
Mm-hmm. That's why I can only, telling, as we're doing right now, we're telling you what Mom said happened or whoever. But, I can only remember what I was.
Right, it's affecting your memory that you remember, and it becomes this whole other entity.
It becomes its own story.
Right.
And then I remember riding inside the police officer's car in a
squad car.
Yeah, in what do you call those?
The airport?
No, in the car seats.
An
older car seat.
You were in a car seat in a
and
squad
he let me
car.
turn on the sirens and lights.
So
and
they
I
had
think
you in the front seat then?
No, not driving.
Oh,
Do you
he
get what
did?
when I met him, he had let me try out. You know what I'm
parked.
saying? Yes. So it's
on the
to
way
make
to
you
the
feel
airport?
comfortable.
No, parked before going.
This is when I'm going to the foster care.
Okay. So
I had to go to a foster home.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to go to the hospital. I had to do a lot of things.
At the foster place?
I think I was there a couple days. So that, and I remember they got me a Happy Meal. Just...
Good old
I'm sure.
Happy Meal.
Yeah, to make me feel not as afraid or something. And then I remember
Comfort food.
the foster care place that I went to. I remember.
And this was in San Francisco?
It had lots of toys, you know what I mean, because of what it was. And I'll never forget, it had one of those blue pools, but it was inside the house. The plastic pools. A blue plastic pool.
That goes outside?
Yeah.
Just like the vinyl.
Yeah,
pools.
just those cheap ones.
Okay.
But I know it's just something that stuck in my head from.
There was water in it?
No,
Oh, okay,
it was
full
just
of
an empty
toys.
one full of toys.
Oh, okay.
Probably for the little kids to play inside or whatever. But it, when I went there, that for whatever reason that just stuck in my head, and then of course I got clothes and all of that. And
was it a better feeling, being at that foster place? Was it
I don't want to say it was a better. Well, I'm sure it was a better feeling, but it was still weird because it was still just another stranger.
And for some reason, 90s, when I look back to when I was a kid and shit, I get the feeling we were in a lot of motels and shit though. Growing up, I get this weird feeling of I don't get it no more. I mean, I'm an adult and shit, but I just feel the 90s just feels I I don't know, fucking.
It was probably a lot of living in the motels and shit, and the people that were around us.
Yeah, like.
Well, look, So
like,
Sam was born, right? And Sam was born in Reno.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ma'am had the duplex in Upper Stead.
Yes.
When I say Upper
I don't
Stead,
remember that. I don't remember.
When I say Upper Stead, what do you guys think of?
Past sneakers.
You know what
the park.
You know
past
what I'm thinking
sneakers.
of? Yeah, past, which isn't sneakers anymore.
But like Military Road.
Right. Everyone I talk to, they're like, this is the first time I've ever heard of the term
Stop it.
Upper Stead.
But that's Upper
Anything
Stead.
past Lear is Upper Stead.
That's so
and
weird.
no one knows what the fuck I'm
That's
talking
funny,
about when I
though.
say it.
If you
Anything
tell
past
that
the
to
trailer
mom,
park,
she's
me,
gonna say,
She'll know Upper Stead.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's where Ma'am lived.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am lived in Upper Stead, and when they said we're going to Ma'am's house, it's in Upper Stead.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Sam was born when I was at Ma'am's place in Upper
Mm-hmm.
Stead.
I never.
The
I don't
duplex
remember
across
that
from Job Corps.
And he was born, I mean, no, it was
No, or
closer.
like
it
by
was, it was like probably closer to the dump, but so that means that so after Sam was born in July 10th, so
Man was still living there, probably.
probably, definitely, and then
This happened.
so and you're saying summer, right?
Yeah, it had to be. At least it felt.
Like the next,
Summer.
because there's only
Yeah,
like a month,
right. Yeah.
month, maybe
I was
two.
a newborn. Yeah, I had to be a newborn, huh?
Right, but it might not have actually been like.
So,
Right,
Summer,
no,
but it's
September,
just-
exactly. It'd still be warm
yeah.
in October.
Yeah.
Too far.
I'm just
But
trying
it
to
had
put,
no. It
like,
had to been the first couple months. It had to been August, September.
end of August, beginning of September, and you were maybe gone
I had
for
a
September.
jacket, but I remember
So
I was
maybe
wearing
October,
and
then.
I was remembering. Okay, so October. It would have probably been October,
Probably October and,
or
you know.
November. Like it would have to be one of those 2 months.
Like it's weird for me to think like I would have been 6 years old in first grade, and
Going to school,
yeah, and,
going about life.
and like yeah. So I can't recall there being an unease at home with Grandma and Grandpa and Poppy.
It was a month-long thing. So
Yeah, a month-long situation from day one
They were just
to the last day.
not telling you that fucking.
But the way that they may have kept it under wraps, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Like, I had to have done a Halloween. I know
Yeah.
that I was like, I think I was a mummy somewhere around there, like the plastic mummy.
See, Mom would be able to
mask
fill
and,
in
like,
all
the-
these.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
whether or not Mom was
where
there-
was she staying while she was waiting? At Man's
I don't know.
house in Everstead?
I don't know.
Never talked
we have
about
never
that, I don't
talked
think.
about that in detail.
Was Dad allowed to?
Where the fuck is
Stay
Mom
with-
at? Call her again. Like these are the details I need.
So I don't know those. Like you get what I mean? Like I'm just going based
I was
on what
thinking,
they
like-
told us.
You think she's just at home?
Yeah.
Let me pause. All right, we're back. We got my mother, who's also known as
Michelle Knowles.
okay, and we found out that Stephanie was getting details wrong.
Well, she was young.
Well, see, I was just going based on my memory.
All right,
Oh.
So I got wrong the time of year.
It was January
January what?
3rd,
What year? 92?
91.
91.
So Sam
Oh
wasn't
no!
born.
So
No,
no, it would have been
90.
92, right?
No, he was born in 91. Sam was born. So it was that January, so 92.
The following January after he was born.
So October is not October. September is wrong.
Okay, so it was the winter time.
Yes.
All right, and so how did it go down, start to finish, on your end? Clearly, Stephanie's end.
Well, we were.
I'm a 3-year-old, and
First
I'm
to
35
start.
now.
First to start. We were in when we first moved to Tennessee.
tap
We
on
was
the
in.
table.
We was in
told me.
a shelter. Okay.
Yes.
And we were staying in a shelter.
And you remember where? Stephanie said you remembered where, and you brought it up.
Travelers Aid in
No, the address of the apartments.
Day Lily Drive.
Yeah.
What is it?
Something Day Lily Drive.
What's
Marysville.
Day Lily?
Yeah, Day Lily Drive. It was a housing project.
D-A-L-I-L-L-Y. Or L-Y. Day Lily Drive. Knoxville?
Marysville, Tennessee.
All right.
Well, we were at the shelter there, and that's where we had met the people who were going to kidnap her. We had met them at the shelter, and then we moved into the housing projects, and they moved into the housing projects too. Your dad did a couple little jobs with the guy, and
Do you know the guy's name
John,
and the wife's name?
Cheryl.
And their last name?
Don't remember it.
Okay.
I don't remember it, but they so we had known them, and so we were somewhat friends. And then
Were they friendly people?
yeah, they were friendly people. They were cool. They were like
No bad
the
vibes.
lady was kind of quiet, but compared to me, lots of people are quiet,
Right.
So
What did they look like?
he was tall, skinny, and he had curly hair, like afro-y hair. She was short, blonde.
About how old?
Well,
Older than okay.
no, they were. She was like 20, in her 20s, 28, something like that, and he was a little bit older. So, yeah,
And you were 21.
yeah.
What did you look like?
What did I look like?
Yeah.
Oh, I was beautiful, of course.
No,
But
stupid, but like your hair and
What
stuff.
color
Like-
was your hair?
Was it blonde?
it was blonde at
You
that
got
time.
pictures? Who's got the pictures?
We
I
got
have a
pictures.
picture of me with the lady at the group home somewhere.
Do you
but-
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you also have pictures from that time period? You
yeah.
got-
She has the
you
pictures
got all
that
the
they
photo
put
books?
on TV. That when they
Oh,
were
I
ever-
actually have it right here.
And see, the cool thing about
Hold on,
it,
just hold on. Just
the cool thing about it, when we were in the shelter, they took
hold on. Donnie, can you keep it down a little bit?
Sage too.
That was the
Sage and Donnie. All right.
Okay, and
What is the
Hold on.
beeping noise?
when we were in the shelter, it was Christmas time before we had to move out, and I remember the shelter asked our family if they could represent us as for donations, because our family looked the best, and so they had us on TV for the news for the shelter thing. So when she was kidnapped, they took that clipping from the news, was able to air that for her, part of her kidnapping, show what she looked like and stuff.
Well, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so but you moved?
Yeah, we moved out of the shelter into the housings, and they moved into the housing too, the same projects we lived in, and we were wanting to come back this way.
To Reno.
To Reno. Me and my husband wanted to come back to Reno, and they wanted to get out of Tennessee. So, we said we were going to go to Reno, and they said okay. They wanted to go too. We were going to cruise together.
Call him Dad. That seems weird calling my husband.
And
Well, it's like she's talking to
and
the audience.
all we had was food stamps, and they had cash. So we were gonna buy the food. They were gonna pay for the gas to do that.
So they said they wanted to go to Reno too?
Yeah.
Were they getting kicked out of their place? Or
No, they were housing. It was free rent.
And they had how many kids?
They had 3 children.
Essentially, we're telling the story over again.
Well, they had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. A girl that was the oldest, and a boy that's about a year older than Stephanie, so 4 or 5, and a little baby that's about a year old.
Okay.
And
Like Sam.
Yeah.
A little older than Sam.
Little older than Sam, yeah. And so we became friends, and then so we decided we were gonna all take off and go, and so
What kind of cars?
they had a Lincoln, a big red like Lincoln, and I had a red Toyota truck, a little short bed Toyota truck, 1985 Toyota.
2-door?
Yeah, 2-door. Yeah. It
That
was
we
a
drove from
camper
Reno
shell,
to
yeah.
there?
We drove it from Reno to Tennessee, and
Was
then,
that the one that you made that camper shell with the wood?
No, that was the one that we made with your grandfather. But this one we had a camper shell, and we had to put soup cans around the exhaust.
So you had a camper shell on this truck?
On this truck, yes.
Okay.
And so when we took off to go traveling, and we stopped at the first place to get gas was in I don't know where, maybe Knoxville, but we got gas there. We all met up and got gas there, and then Miss Stephanie, she wanted to ride with them to play with the kids. And I'm like, no,
This is
no,
all
no,
hearsay,
no.
though.
No, it's not. And I'm like, no. And she just kept fighting me. And it was just starting to get, it was dusk,
Hold
And-
on. What was this? Cans around the exhaust?
Oh, when we left Reno to go to Tennessee, I had just gotten that truck, but we had went 4-wheeling and we put a hole in the exhaust. And my stepfather, Richard, he actually fixed it. He put wrapped soup cans around it. So all the way to Tennessee, we'd have to stop ever so many hundreds of miles and get soup cans.
He was there?
No, he was there before I left Reno. Papa Richard was.
They left the Reno in that. And
Okay.
Yeah, we had to have exhaust cans. That's the same truck that we were driving. So we stopped and got gas. And Stephanie she just kept saying she wanted to ride with him. She didn't want to ride in the truck because she was riding in the back of the truck and then wanting to be in the front of the truck. And she just wasn't happy.
Because you leave me by myself in the back of a truck.
Well, I can't drive and be in the back of the truck at the same time. So against my better judgment, I told her, okay, she could. And we were supposed to, the next stop along the way was Memphis. I figured the biggest truck stop there. But, we were supposed to meet in Memphis. But we were supposed to be following each other. But when we took off from that place, like I said, it was dusk, so it was getting dark, and out of nowhere, all I saw was taillights. I didn't see the car. Driving. I was driving. I didn't see the car. All I seen was taillights, and I'm just going. And my husband, he's like, "She's gone. She's gone." So I had a dream that she was kidnapped. She's gone, and I'm like, "What are you doing having that dream?" And so we went to.
Were you guys fighting?
No, we weren't
Steph
fighting.
said that he had the dream. Someone said that we found your daughter.
No, no.
That happened later.
That happened later. But
okay.
He had a dream that.
So that wasn't the dream about me.
No, he had a dream. He had a dream that she was kidnapped. That a cop came to our door and said, "Your daughter. We found your daughter." So that's all he remembered. I'm like, "Well, you're supposed to tell me those dreams before it happens, not after it happens." So I just drove to Memphis. I didn't know what else to do. I figured they would stop along the way somewhere. Stop, wave us down, something. They were ahead of us. Mm-hmm. You just don't keep going with somebody's kid. And we went there. There was nothing all the way there. So I went to the inside this place, and I called the police and told them that my daughter
at the gas station.
Yeah, at the gas station in the hotel thing, and they said it was Texas. It was Tennessee and Arkansas. They were connected there or something, and so they said, well. Best thing to tell you is go back to that truck stop and maybe you'll see him. And I didn't have no gas money or nothing, so they gave me some gas, so we had to drive back to all the way back to that truck stop, and we waited. And then when the morning came, huh?
You're clicking.
Oh, when we came back, we stayed the night at that truck stop, and nobody came back there, so we went to the highway patrol.
In the car there?
Yeah, in the truck. We went to the highway patrol. I had to sell my watch to get gas because we talked to the highway patrol and they said, well, just go back to your home. Maybe they're back there.
How far away were you by then?
Oh, good.
So when you talked to the highway patrol,
8 hours,
you flagged them down, you called them
up?
Oh,
no, I called the highway patrol. They had
8
all the
hours
things.
away from where the house was that you had to go back to?
Yeah, pretty much close to that. And
so by the time you get back, you're already
okay. So as soon as I got back there, right? As soon as I got back there, we went straight to their house. What was their house, and we kicked in the door. And I'm just going through shit, trying to find phone numbers of her. No, it wasn't. I tried to find addresses and phone numbers and stuff, and I found their address book. But
they
so
left
we called the cops.
Of shit there.
Yeah, they left a bunch of stuff. So I called the cops.
The cops too, didn't they?
Well, yeah, they had to go. That's what we found out afterwards. Oh, okay. So we called the cops, and the cop came, and this cop, he thought Dad. They were already looking for that dude, and they thought that dude was Dad. Threw Dad up against the car,
Like looking for him for your situation.
No, for another. They had robbed the pawn shop. Yeah, they had robbed the pawn shop for a bunch of coins and stuff. Shit. Yeah, and. They had a friend with them and they were at the shelter, but when they moved, he moved in with some girls. So he's the only one that we knew that knew enough about them that we didn't know. And he didn't know nothing, when the FBI talked to him. But
talked to who?
A guy that was traveling with them.
And where was he?
He lived in an apartment on the projects that we lived in too.
He didn't leave with them?
No, he did. Yeah, we went and
talked to him. He lived with them at the shelter where they met. But when they moved into the...
And he robbed the pawn shop with them?
No, he didn't. But he's the one that told me. Yeah, he's the one that told me.
That had any information.
And it was funny when he came to he had to come over to my house so he could talk to the FBI, and he was all drunk when he showed up at my house, and the FBI guy comes in and he's hiccuping, he said, and he turned to him and he said, "And you, what's your name?" And the hiccup stopped right now, like they say, you get scared, but he's like, I got some. Warrants and stuff like that. And they said, we don't care. This is a kidnapping. That's what we're more concerned about. What you know about these people,
Like, so they said, you better come talk to me or we're going to...
Yeah, no, I asked them. I said, the FBI wants to talk to you. They probably would have if he didn't come
I feel like we're jumping stuff here.
Okay.
We're jumping stuff.
Anyway, so...
Hold on. Okay, so
Yeah, you gotta organize.
Yes, yeah. So you leave, right? She gets kidnapped from this gas station to this gas station. You never see her.
Yeah.
And then at that gas station, you call the cops.
Yes.
All right, and then they tell you to go back to the other gas station.
Yeah, yeah.
And then from there,
I called the highway patrol,
and they tell you to go back to where you left from.
Yeah, go back to the house.
And then you go back there. They weren't there, so you kick in the door open. And then what's the next?
The cops
move?
came. The cop come and thought my husband was that guy.
Right.
And I had to show him proof that he wasn't.
Okay, and then what did they say?
And then he said, okay, well, he took the report and he says, tomorrow, go see the FBI. And so
you saw the FBI in Tennessee?
In Tennessee. We went to the FBI office in Tennessee. Yeah, they had a main office there. And so we went there and we talked to them and they said, okay, they get on it, but your dad's drunk, and they're looking at me. I'm just young, and they're
they're thinking that you guys are lying,
or something. Yeah. So, and the one guy, that cop that came and was going to arrest your dad, he went and made the flyers for us. He took your picture and he made the flyers and stuff like that. Yeah, he was a very good cop. He would come talk to me about it. He was the best cop.
Didn't one of them tell you to get out of the town?
Yeah, that was the head detective. But
why in a mean way?
Yeah, in a mean way.
Okay, so you're at the FBI.
And they
get the weirdo guy, right?
Yeah. They talk to him
and then
the FBI was at my house every day. Every day, the FBI was at my house.
Like they were trying to help.
So where were you staying then?
I went back at the apartment that we had in the projects.
Okay.
We just went back to that apartment.
Okay.
And I remember I had stole the TV from those people's houses because I had a TV that there was no picture, only sound, and they had a TV that was sound and no picture. So I had to watch both those TVs when they aired her on the news.
So I was on the news.
Okay,
Yeah, that's how I had no phone.
Some ghetto shit?
I had no phone. I had no phone. No phone. Actual phone.
Like
right, they didn't have. They
No,
didn't have personal cell phones.
No, they didn't. So I was able to call that because in the projects that we lived in, they had their own little police station in there, their own little food bank in there.
That's when you know it's a badass project.
Yeah.
What was it called so I could see the picture?
Lilydale.
You could look it up.
We'll deal with that later.
But
we'll cross that bridge.
They all look alike, and all the projects look alike. Just some are rated better than the others. But
okay, so you're
so I called there every day.
Every day.
Were you home at that place for?
I was there until she came back, and then I left.
Yeah, so I was wrong. Mom never went back there.
No, we
didn't.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, slow down. Okay, so what's the situation where the cop told you guys to leave town?
Oh, that's at the end. That's at the end after she came back.
Okay, so you're just in Tennessee.
And
you're
I'm
just
3,000 miles away from
day.
anyone I know. No family, no nothing.
So while you're in Tennessee, what was Matt and his situation like?
Well,
hold on, I'll get to these questions.
Because
I'll get to these questions.
Yeah.
So hold on, slow down. All right, so FBI, they're there every day until they figure it out. Now, Steph said that
I found her.
Steph, you found like a phone book.
Yeah, I found a phone book, and like I said, I had no phone, so I had to go call, and they turned my phone on right away. But I didn't even have a phone to plug in, so I had to borrow it from some neighbor I didn't even know. She gave me her phone. And I was on the phone calling everybody I could think of. Psychics.
My daughter was kidnapped.
Yeah. Everybody knew about this in the projects. Yeah. Because I told them, because I was trying to find any information. And
so you're knocking on doors, asking, do you know these people? Do you know where maybe they might be? Is that what
No. They just knew because word of mouth around the other, because anybody that came from the shelter, I talked to them. Yeah.
A stranger knocking on your door.
And not even a hillbilly. Yeah. But the people that were in the shelter with us, they all got houses in the same apartment complex as I did, so they knew, and even lied. Like people lied. Like this one lady, we had seen her the day before Stephanie was kidnapped, and Steph was with us and everything. But that lady told the cops that when we showed up at her house, Steph wasn't there. But I was lucky because CPS had showed up at my house. And that day before Steffi was kidnapped and saw that Steffi was there,
And so what was Dad doing this whole time?
Drinking. He was just drinking. Yeah, he was drunk.
No help? Like,
no.
Probably.
Yeah. I had to go cash in food stamps and shit to get alcohol.
How did he look? Did he have a mustache, a handlebar?
Yeah, he had the mustache and his hair was mean.
What was I doing this whole time?
Sleeping.
You. We were holding you constantly because we didn't have no crib and no carpet, and you had already had that fall on your head. So
When you got the
CPS
hairline
was
fracture?
involved, and so CPS was involved. So I didn't let you. I was holding you constantly, because I didn't want you to fall and hurt yourself or whatever. And thank God I had you, because that kept me from, because one day you wake up and you're like, okay, she's gonna be found. And then the next day you wake up and you're like, she's gone, she's dead, know.
So you found a phone book?
Oh, yes. And so I was calling everybody. I called every talk
Their
show.
phone book.
Yeah, their phone
Their
book. I called
family.
all their family members, and the one family said, oh, we only hear from them once
Who,
every
their
5
parents? Someone's
or
parents?
just their family, like sisters or cousin or something like that. And they said, we only hear from them once every 4 or 5 years, and we just heard from them not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, you let them know the FBI's looking for them. They stole my daughter, They said, okay. And then, I called, there was only a couple talk shows, but I called like Geraldo Rivera, and they're all like, well, did you have a ransom note? I'm like, they could sell my child, they get more from me. And I called even the CPS lady, she helped me because she was making phone calls that I couldn't call. Like, I was calling every welfare office. I was calling in every news station, trying to get them just from there to California. I called every Salvation Army.
Money to get.
Oh, no, just to get people to air it across the states,
In case they see me.
And like the welfare office, I was able to
should be
talk
like
to the
an
one in
automatic
LA.
when someone's kidnapped.
I talked to the lady in LA. I didn't talk to the one in San
Automatic,
Francisco.
nationwide.
And that's where they found her in San Francisco.
Was
Oh, even
Amber
Salvation.
there
No,
yet?
no,
Yeah,
huh?
Amber
Even
there.
the Salvation Armies, I called all the shelters like along the way because I knew there were people that stayed in shelters, but they wouldn't give me any information. But then I tell them, no,
And
my
then-
daughter's going to be.
And then
she's,
finally, this family member, are they the ones?
yeah,
that,
they called them. They happened to call them, and they told them that.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Sam, you're jumping
Yeah,
details.
yeah,
I thought that was like the
Okay,
next
Well, no, because still the FBI is there every day, right?
every day, and they talked to
And Steph
my
said
family.
what, over a month?
28 days. She was
28
gone.
days.
And they told
So what
They
was
asked
so
Grandma and
nothing
them?
was happening for 28 days.
no, nothing.
I mean,
The
other
only
than
thing
you
was the
calling
FBI, and
and-
they call and they would talk to me, and then they called my family. They called Grandma and them.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so
And
so
then
we can get to
Grandma-
that part.
yeah.
So like,
But they called my.
I don't remember being told about this.
No, well, they were.
So-
Grandma-
you called-
I didn't know until Kyle.
Yeah,
or-
I didn't
until,
call.
like-
Your dad called because I was already fighting with them because I had left, so they were already mad at me. So I had.
So he called who?
He called
Ma'am?
Grandma and Ma'am, yeah,
Oh,
and Mom,
jeez.
and they said that we deserve
I told
whatever
you.
happens. And
No,
then
who
yes,
said that?
Ma'am.
Ma'am, and then they told
So your mother.
my mother, and then they told the
That would be
police.
something she
I mean,
would
they
say,
told the
you know
FBI
what?
when the FBI, because the FBI had everything on your dad because he had been arrested before all these things. Me,
Well,
they
of
didn't have
course.
nothing on me because I was young and I didn't have this, so they were investigating me pretty hard, and they told the FBI that I probably sold my kid.
Who? Ma'am said that?
Yeah.
Your mother
My
said
mother,
that to
yeah.
the FBI.
And this is a real investigation, yeah. And she told them that I probably
That's
sold
a
my
bitch.
child.
That's a
You
bitch,
know,
man.
so they got to talk to me about all that shit, and to see if I had really done that. And,
So during the
Grandma,
whole
what was
time.
Grandma saying?
well,
Yeah.
grandma, I wasn't
Ma'am.
talking. I didn't talk to
So
them. I
your
didn't talk to
grandmother and
them.
grandfather, you didn't talk to them.
I didn't talk to. Mom was living with them at the time, and
Oh,
I.
she was living in Upper Sled.
Oh yeah, she was, huh?
Well, because Sam was born.
In
Ma'am was living in
Upper
Upper
State,
Stead.
yeah.
Hold on, sorry.
What was
Might
this,
be-
October or something?
To
No,
leave.
January.
Not yet.
January.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, So
It was January
over
3rd.
there and without,
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
January 3rd.
I mean, we weren't too far off. but-
And well, maybe it wasn't 28 days because they found her on the 28th of January. And the thing, I had talked to a
All right,
psychic.
hold on. Sorry, this is distracting
That's
me
okay.
from keeping you on track.
Yeah, I get off
So
track.
you don't know if Grandma and Poppy were told?
Well,
her
they
that?
No,
Yeah,
they knew
about it.
because when she was found, I called them because my dad was trying to help me, making phone calls, doing whatever. Laura was talking to her family and, trying to figure out something. And
Laura being your stepmother.
yeah.
Got to keep these details
And
straight.
so when Stephanie, when I had called psychics and shit too, and this one psychic, she told me justice will be done, and the 28th, does the 28th mean anything to you? And I said, I think the lady was like 28, but when we got the call, we didn't get the call because they didn't even have our number. A cop showed up at our house. It was midnight. in Tennessee, which was the 28th in Tennessee, but it was the 27th in San Francisco. So she was found on the 28th, in Tennessee. But it was, and they called and they said, well, when the cop came.
Well, hold on. Give me details still.
Is this your mind just going to everything?
So you never heard from Poppy or Grandma?
No, I didn't talk to them until she was found.
Okay. Well, hold on. You don't need to. That's fine. You can end right there. And we'll circle back around to it.
So that may be why, obviously they knew, but maybe it's not something like Mom wasn't calling them every day to talk about it. So that's probably why things didn't seem out of the place for you.
And you really didn't.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no.
The argument was like too much for you
on.
guys to talk about this?
Oh, I did. I felt like it was.
Or were you embarrassed?
No, I wasn't embarrassed. I was scared to talk to them because they were fighting with me. They were mad at me because I left.
And you didn't want to hear them bitching at you.
Yeah,
okay,
I didn't
so this is man, that text fucked everything up. So you said Ma'am was living with me,
guess she was,
but I remember when Sam was born, they were in Upper Stead.
So she was in Sun Valley then, because we had moved to Sun Valley before we left to Tennessee.
How long was Ma'am in
She
Upper
was
Stead?
living in Sun Valley living in Sun Valley when we left to go to Tennessee.
Okay, when did you leave to go to Tennessee?
We went. We were only there like a month because we were traveling on my birthday, and that's December 8th. We got in Love, Tennessee on my birthday, so we left Utah the 1st of December.
Utah.
And, we were living. Before that happened, we was living at Ma'am's house, and we decided to go to Utah.
You were living at Ma'am's house in Sun Valley.
In Sun Valley, and
the trailer, okay.
Yeah, and things weren't going good for me and my husband. Things just weren't good, so we decided to leave, and so we took off to go to to go to Utah.
And end up in Tennessee?
No, well, first your dad made me let him off at a rest area because he said I turned the radio up too loud. And so I let him off and he said, go. And so I went. Stop. And I went all the way to Utah.
And did he hitchhike?
No, he went back to Ma'am's house. And I got to Becky's house in Utah. And Becky says, your husband's been calling you. I said, I'm sure he is, And then I called him and he said that Dan was going to buy him a bus ticket to come to Utah. And then when we left Utah to go to Tennessee.
And you got to Tennessee on your birthday?
Yeah, well, the next day. But we stopped in Love, Tennessee on my 21st birthday.
December
8th.
Okay.
Love, Tennessee.
So, yeah, we were out of the shelter by the 1st of January. And then we got
to be your 21st birthday.
Yeah, it was my 21st birthday.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was thinking.
We was in Love, Tennessee.
You were born in 70.
Yeah. So it was my 21st birthday. We had stopped off at a church in Love, Tennessee, because we'd been in that car for a few days. And
where'd you meet these people? At the shelter?
The shelter in Marysville, Tennessee, yeah.
And they had another kid that was
kidnapped? They had 3 kids, and only one of them was theirs.
Oh, wow.
That we found out at the end. But, yeah, so we were traveling, so things weren't going so good.
Okay, hold on. Slow down. Okay. All right. So while you're waiting, FBI's talking with you, blah, blah, blah. So then the cops show up at your house.
A cop shows up at my house at
midnight.
Yeah, at midnight, and he knocked on the door, and we just slept right there in the front room. We didn't leave the front room, and I opened the door, and I'm like, they said we found your daughter, and I'm like, oh my God, is she alive? Is she alive? And he says, I don't know.
So why though? So the family member got a hold of them finally?
They happened to call their family, and they said, hey, the FBI is looking for you. You stole that baby. Those people's. So they had contacted the police. Yeah, they turned themselves in. And
they were in San Francisco.
They were in San Francisco,
And they turned themselves in San Francisco.
Yeah. See, they were collecting welfare for her and the other kids because you didn't have to have a birth certificate then to get welfare for your kids. Mm-hmm. So they told her name was Mary.
Right.
Because when I got the call, she was found, and at first.
The cop come and told you she was found.
Yeah, and then I had to call this number. The cop come and said, you need to call this number. They found your daughter, and I said, is she alive or dead? He says, I don't know.
Oh, God,
you just got to call this number, So I called the number, and it was San Francisco police.
Okay.
And they said that they had my daughter, and that they had put her.
So what? Those people were in custody now?
Yeah. They were
arrested.
When you called that number, though, what was that feeling like? The fact that he said, "I don't know," just call.
It was.
What a prick.
It could have went either way.
How is he being a prick if he doesn't know? Is he supposed to say she's alive, but then she's
he
not?
He had known something, but they were pricks. They were pricks, because when I called, and he goes, we have your daughter here, and I'm like, is she okay? Is she okay? He says, we took her to the hospital, the children's hospital, so they could examine her and make sure nothing happened to her or anything. And so I said, okay. And so I called my dad, and I said, she's in Frisco, go get her. I don't want her in the system any longer than she needs to be, and I'm going to figure out how to get there. And then I called Grandma and them, and I said that she's found. And they said, okay, they were taken off to Frisco.
Grandma being your grandmother?
My grandma. They said that they were going to go get her. But they got there a few minutes before my dad did. My dad had a fucking 12-hour drive or something.
So Grandma and Poppy went? Or
no,
just...
Grandma and Mom.
Okay,
okay. And they got to see Stephanie all together because they showed up pretty much, at the same time.
They were the first ones to see.
Yeah. And Stephanie, my grandma said, come here, Steph, come see Grandma. And she said, my name is Mary.
Hold on. When was Ma'am born?
February 1st, 1951.
51, okay.
So she was 20 years older than you?
Yeah.
So she would have been
kind of young too.
Almost my age now.
Yeah.
Into the trip.
Yeah. Well, that's like to experience what I had to experience at 21 is this, and have a little baby and 3,000, like I said, 3,000 miles away from anybody I knew. And when we got the call that she was found, the cop had talked to me, the good one that took her, he had got a haircut and everything because they were supposed to have a big parade. They said Delta Airlines was going to fly her home and da-da-da-da-da. And then, because, I don't know, then the cop had to come back and tell me that Delta Airlines reneged.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so we're missing another thing. You talked to America's Most Wanted?
Yes, I did. Before I got the call that she was found, I had called and talked to Unsolved Mysteries and America's Most Wanted, and they had took down all my information, and then they had mailed me that information. I was supposed to look it over, sign it, and mail it back to them, which I did. And that Sunday, they were going to air her story on their show, but she was found.
Nowadays, that would have been done just...
the mail thing. Yeah. And so the cop came and he said Delta Airlines reneged and da-da-da-da-da, and that it was on me to get her home.
Do you think that they reneged because it wasn't some high-profile thing?
Yeah, because see, when the cops, exactly. And when the FBI came, because they came back to my house, to talk to me about, you being found and what that the people were arrested and and I said I just want to sign whatever I got to sign, because I don't want to go to court. I didn't want to go to court on it. I did not want to see these people again. And I just wanted it so far out of my life,
You just wanted it completely over.
I didn't know what I might do if I saw them. You know what I'm saying? Just
do you regret that now?
So hold on. So you're saying ma'am, grandma, and so your parents who aren't together, just for the record, and grandma, your grandma, our great grandmother, they were all there.
Yeah, they all showed up at the police station in San Francisco. And then they went to the children's hospital or whatever. But my dad, he was like, just show me where they're at. Just give me a few minutes alone with these motherfuckers, Okay. But they wouldn't let them,
So they picked her up from the hospital?
They picked her up from the hospital and they drove her. They released her to Grandma and them, and they.
Did you talk to them on the phone?
Yeah.
You have to talk to her?
Yeah. When they told me that she was gone,
the first time you talked to her?
Was that night that I called them and they said, they said, do you want to talk to her? I said, oh yeah, please let me talk to her. And I was talking to her and she said, and I didn't say anything. She said, Mommy, you don't gotta sleep with my coat anymore. And I slept with her coat every night, thinking about if she had a coat.
What look like?
It was a little pink one, a little pink coat. It was a little pink coat. But she knew. I don't know how she knew. She says, "No, you don't got to sleep with my coat anymore, Mommy." And so then.
Imagine
before the cops told me that Delta reneged. George Bush was his name. He was in charge of missing and exploited children, and he
in San Francisco.
No, missing and exploited children, the National Missing and Exploited Children in Washington D.C.
Wherever, okay.
He told me, he goes, okay, so you need assistance with getting her back home, and I said, well, no. They said Delta Airlines were going to fly her in. And he goes, are you sure? Because that's what we do. This is our job, And I said, no. And he said, okay, And so then the cop comes and tells me late that they weren't going to do that. So I was like, oh, God, So I called him back. And then he goes, okay, it's kind of late, but let me see what I could do. He goes, I have to talk to the detective in charge, which this guy was a prick. Okay, so
Do you remember his name?
no, I don't. I know I don't. But he calls me after the missing and exploited children called him. He calls me and he says, okay, that he had talked to him, and he goes, okay, I'm going to let this happen. He says, but everything better go through me. If it doesn't go through me, you'll be walking to get your daughter. Right? Yeah, I don't know. And so I said, okay, well, missing and exploited children doesn't get a hold of me until like 9 o'clock that night. And I had to my plane was leaving like at like 8 o'clock 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was a 2-hour drive. And we had no gas. And the only person that I knew that I could get a hold of was Laura's sister, and I just asked her to borrow $5 and
Laura
gas.
being your stepmother.
Stepmom, her sister, La Rosa. And La Rosa said no, she didn't have the $5. But she did, So all I could think of was first I had to find someone to watch you. Because how am I going to, I'm going to go I'm going to go pick up my daughter who was kidnapped. And but I got to ask a stranger pretty much to watch my kid because we didn't have enough. I didn't think we'd have enough gas
That's so fucked up. They should have took care of this whole.
Oh no. So before I had to find a babysitter, I called the shelter and I said, hey, I need gas money to go to Knoxville to catch a flight. And they said, okay. I said, but I need it early because I have to leave early, And they said, okay, come in and first thing in the morning we'll give you gas. I said, okay. So then I had to go find a babysitter, and so all I could think of was this one couple that was in the shelter. She's like 15 and he was like 96. And
Still in Tennessee?
In Tennessee, yeah. I didn't come back until we got her back.
Why didn't you take Sam?
Yeah.
Because Jim had to stay overnight because I was flying that morning out.
Was being a scumbag?
No. He had to sleep in the vehicle. He had to sleep in the truck.
And he didn't want to sleep in
the
the car
He had to
him
sleep in a
and
bad
get taken
neighborhood,
away.
in the shelter area of Nashville, Tennessee. Because we had to go to Nashville. That's where it was, not Knoxville. We had to drive to Nashville. And he didn't know the area, and he didn't want no baby. You know what I mean? There
was a lot of violence.
Okay, there was a lot of violence in that area, and so your dad didn't want to. He couldn't have spent all day long.
Canceled.
He couldn't have spent all day long. Excuse me, but I've seen some of your films. Okay, people left the theater, but he couldn't stay all day long with you, and then all night until I flew back in, and he had to stay because we go. I asked, and this man, he was like 96 years old, and his wife was like 15, and they had 2 little babies, and I'm like, these people are not going anywhere. Okay, they're not going anywhere, and they were hillbilly, like spitting you, and they were straight hillbillies, and I was like,
who are the Whitakers?
Yes, pretty much, yes. And I said, please watch my child, for me, please, don't kidnap me.
Yes, right.
Don't let nothing happen to my baby, okay, please. And so, they said, okay, so the next morning I go to the shelter at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and she goes, do you know Detective so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah. She says, he wants you to call this number. And I'm like, oh my God.
What's gonna happen?
And I called him, he goes, didn't I tell you, if you didn't go through me, you would be walking to get your daughter. I said, well, yes, but you weren't at the police station. I didn't think me getting gas had anything to do with you. I didn't, he goes, well, we got gas. I'll give you gas. He said, are you planning on staying in this town? And I said, yes. He goes, oh, good golly. He said,
he had a southern accent?
Yeah. He says, I don't know about that. I don't know about your family being here and just really fucking
like it's your fault.
Yeah.
Instead of the people's fault,
like,
right?
He's like, you Yankee motherfucker, get out of here. But when so
oh my God.
I went and got you, And
what did that guy look like?
The hillbilly?
Yeah.
The one that was watching my kid, or the cop?
No, the cop.
Oh, I never ever got to see him face to face. I always talked about the phone. Yeah, many times.
I picture him looking.
Oh, like big old
Big
fat,
belly,
like
yeah.
boss hog type of, kind of looking.
Mustache.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Probably some handlebar fucking
Okay.
things. Yeah, he was just like, good golly.
Okay.
Yeah, and
what did the good cop look like?
oh, he was nice looking, young, cop looking, like a normal cop. He looked good. He was a citizen.
Clean shaves.
He was
White
a citizen. He probably had some Yankee blood in him. He
Okay.
wasn't straight hillbilly.
Okay.
But and so I flew. Missing and exploited children paid for me to fly to Reno. I stayed the night. I got to see my daughter. They came and picked me up
Where'd
at the
you
airport. at grandma's
Okay,
at the
in
train
Reno.
in Reno. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Well,
I got.
Steph was picked up by then? Or?
Yeah, Steph was at grandma's. She had she went to, because it was a few days until it was like the 2 days from me getting the call to where I was able to fly out.
Okay.
And so she
they
started
went to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Picked her up.
Took her to Reno.
Home.
Yeah, took her home and then I came and they took me out.
So like she would have taken her home.
Oh, and I remember
would've
you.
been
Yeah,
there.
you were there. You were happy when I came because I spent the night too, and you was happy to see me. You know,
He thought it was a big old party.
Yeah,
His
you
sister
was
just
happy
got
to see me.
kidnapped.
Yeah, you were happy to see me.
This would have been January 28th, 30th?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Of 92?
Yeah, 92. I could remember it now. I just, you was all excited, you know, and to see your mother, and then, you know, you had your sister there. Yeah. Showed me
Oh
some
my
kind of
gosh,
thing.
I wonder if we did something.
And
you know
then,
what I mean?
as soon as I got you back, we were splitting. We was leaving. We was leaving Tennessee, you know, because my worst two nightmares came true.
So wait, you got her in Reno and you went back to Tennessee?
Yeah, we flew back to Tennessee, me and
then
Stephanie.
and then you left.
Well, then we waited for our food stamps to come in. They weren't coming in. And I had a friend down there in Tennessee that I had known many years ago when I was a kid and went to Tennessee. Me and her ran away in Tennessee. And so when she saw us on the news first in December, she got a hold of the shelter, called me, you know. And then we lost touch again, you know, because I moved out, you know. And then she saw me on the news when you were kidnapped, and she, you know, she got in touch with me. And so her and her husband and their 3 kids wanted to come back with us again, but this time we were driving, and so we had to sell our food stamps, and your dad had to go. My friend Michelle, she said, well, my uncle will buy them, and so she took your dad to deep in the Smoky Mountains, deep in the Smoky Mountains, you know, and there was some old man out there on his front porch, you know, had a shotgun there and everything, and
white guy.
Yeah, and your dad and Michelle were up there, and he's like, how do I know you ain't the FBI?
But tell me why Dad could look like an FBI agent.
And your dad's like, Michelle, I thought you said you had this because her name was Michelle too. I thought you had this all set up, you know. Her husband's name was Jim too.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it was. And and your dad said that he shot off that shotgun at some kind of mouse or something out there behind him or whatever. He said he was scared. But,
some critter.
And then so we packed everything. We packed everything up to leave, and you know, it was so sad because that was the first time I packed everything up right. You know, I had traveling clothes and everything for you, the baby.
And then what happened?
Oh my God, I got stoned. Okay.
And you left everything.
And I left everything, and I didn't know it until we were like a couple hours down the road. It was raining, and Steph and I was driving, and we get a couple hours down the road. And I'm like,
so how was Dad when you got when the cops showed up and gave the news and you made the call?
He was happy. He was happy.
Okay.
He was, you know, he
was he still like Dad gets?
Yeah.
Where he doesn't believe that it's real and that it's okay because she's still not there. Like, was he still like that baby in a fetal position?
Pretty much. He had to stay drunk, you know, and it was weird because, like I said, some days you feel guilty if you laugh at something. If something makes you laugh, you feel so guilty, you know, and then you start feeling like you're going insane because one minute you're crying and the next you're, you know,
happy.
Something not happy. You're just laughing at something stupid, you know, you know,
I think that's life, though.
If I didn't have
so much emotions at once.
People, you always say, like I always said,
I got a moment like that in my new movie.
Before it happened, you know, I'd always say, God, if one of my children were ever kidnapped, I would die. It would kill me, you know. But you don't know what you're faced with until that moment. No, you don't know yourself what you would do, because if I didn't have Sammy to keep occupied and I had to take care of him, I had to, you know, because there was no one was helping. There was no break, no.
Did you drink or anything?
Oh no. I was straight sober. Yeah. I didn't do anything, and it just is like, it's so surreal, you know. The whole thing, you could look back on it, and, you know, like I remember I went to church one day. You know, there was a little bus that would come around the little projects and pick the little kids up. And one day, one of the Sundays, I just went out there and I just got on the bus, you know. And I didn't say anything, you know. And then during the church service, just got up and I walked to the front and I just knelt and just prayed, and I got a sense of
Comfort?
everything was going to be okay. I didn't get told that you were going to be found. I just was told whatever happens, it was going to be okay, and it was like a couple of days before you were found, before I got the call, and it's
okay. And so, what happened to the people? And what they told you that some of them were also not their
yeah,
kids?
they had 3 children, but only one of them was really theirs.
Okay, so 2 of them.
2 of them were
also.
kidnapped. I don't know. I don't recall if it was from the same family. The 2 of them, if they were,
Do you know which 2?
The two oldest, the girl and the boy.
Okay.
So the baby, I believe, was theirs.
So they were older than Stephanie, and like they didn't say anything.
No, I don't know if they were even in school when Steph was.
Do you think that they knew?
They knew
they
that
had to
you.
have known.
They
They had
knew
to
that
have
you
known.
weren't
No.
theirs.
That they knew that they weren't.
Well,
Did they know that
What
they
were-
weren't their parents? Like, did they ever say anything when we played?
No, but I know that they kept those kids,
Away from everybody?
yeah, like in the shelter and shit.
Because, like, I was meaning, like, did they kidnap them when they were younger, older?
See, I don't know. I don't know because of the fact that we did.
Just
It's like
Dis-
in that
we
movie,
disappeared.
Running Scared, when they have the 2 kids in the
And
playroom and the mom. She's like, "Where are the pictures?
Yeah.
You don't have any of their pictures up on the wall. Where are their pictures?"
Yeah.
How did they act? Like, the children? Did they
Shy.
act weird?
They were shy.
Probably how I probably acted to other people.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
said that when you came, she introduced Stephanie. Said she was Mary.
Yeah, and and Grandma said that's not your name. Your name's Stephanie, and no one could ever change that. And
And Grandma was born in 30. I forget 36.
maybe
37.
in Kilgore, Texas, in a tent. She didn't even have a birth certificate when she went to get
Born
social.
during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
How was I when they picked me up? Like, how,
Your spirit wasn't gone.
I was still Stephanie.
You're still Stephanie,
Okay.
and that's what I was looking for when I first seen you. I didn't want your spirit to be broken.
Question though, when you first saw me, how did you feel? Like, were you wanting, like, just want to run and hug, but am I being too much on her? Like that. Do you get what I mean?
Well, you were at the airport. They brought you to the airport. I remember you had brown overall cords on. Yeah, and you just looked so cute. Just so. Because it was so hard when you were gone. Because my friend Michelle, she had 2 little girls and a boy. And she'd be singing the little songs with them and ABCs and stuff like that, and it just killed
Broke
me
your heart, huh?
because that's all I wanted was my little girl back, so I could do that with her, and it does something to you, that it breaks something in you, that. Like, if I never had another lucky moment in my life, getting you back, that was a miracle, People don't get that lucky. And after that many days, people don't get that lucky. And I got that lucky, I know it did change something in who I was as a parent and maybe as a person, too,
Do you think it changed our relationship?
Oh, I know it did. I don't know if it was because the pain was so bad,
She was only 3.
but that doesn't matter. The pain for me, losing her.
Well, no, that's fine.
Yeah, it was
But
so
like
bad.
Stephanie's.
No, it
It's
changed.
not like
her-
Stephanie was
No,
some
no,
kind of like
didn't.
moody teenager.
No,
at 3 years
no.
old.
She didn't change. It
No,
didn't.
I don't
It changed
mean
our
that in, like-
relationship in me as
Like
your
her
mother.
as mothering me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it changed.
Maybe like emotions she may show or not show, or maybe
Yeah, it
how
did.
she raised me next, or maybe
did, it
tougher
did.
on me, not like
It
that.
did. It changed in many ways. That not
Or the thought that I was taken away from you once, and the thought, what if it happened again? Or
exactly.
something,
It isn't that it was something that I knowingly changed and went about things, but
Just
to look
happened.
back on, I've known that there was something different. There was a, I don't know if there was a fear, like to lose that, to feel that again, or I don't know, but I know I raised you differently because of that, and I don't know in all the ways, but I know that it held you know.
It impacted something.
Yeah, it did. And that's the same with Sammy, because he was just a baby, and I had, you know.
He filled it.
It wasn't that he filled it, but it kept me alive, so I could see you again, so I could have, you know. So I think that gave me and Sam, it meant, you know, it gave us maybe a tighter bond. But at the same time, it was not you know, not good, because afterwards I was terrified of something happening to you guys, you know.
But I mean,
so you got her, you went back, and then you immediately drove back to Reno.
Yeah, within 2 weeks.
And just lived in Sun Valley.
Oh no, we went to Sacramento.
Oh, you went to Sacramento.
We went to Sac.
Okay, yeah,
that's
was a
what
question I forgot to ask. So, but also like, you know, your sister. Did you tell her, and did you talk to her at all?
Sarah, I didn't talk to her at all through this whole thing. She was with Mom. You know, she yeah.
And okay, and then what did you hear from everybody after the fact when you went to Reno to pick her up?
How did they
impressions did you get from?
You know, my sister, she didn't really
talk to you.
No, she didn't know the extent of it. That it was.
She would have been
21, 4 years younger.
17.
Yeah, 17.
But that's still a teenager.
Yeah, we didn't.
Know?
But me and my sister, we didn't talk
like
again.
An adult teenager.
Yeah, we didn't talk again, and we didn't talk again until I think Sarah was the one that said that I probably deserved what happened. I think she's the one that said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's because she was going based on Mom, you know, and so me and my sister didn't get close again until she was 18 when we moved to Sacramento, and she came and see me, you know.
And did you guys talk about what happened ever?
Not really. She didn't even know all of the details until later.
And we talked about it. Discussed it.
We talked about it later. You know.
So she was kind of in the.
She was in the dark. She didn't really know exactly how it was and how it went. You know.
And then when you were at the trailer, did you talk to, you know, your grandparents?
Yeah. What did Poppy say?
Did you have any conversations?
You know,
like, did it just I was back and that was just it?
Yeah, they were still.
About how they
no, because they did wrong. You know what I mean?
So they're guilt of what they said to you. And
Grandpa might not have even known until
I was found.
He was found. That you know, you know, because Grandpa.
Maybe that's why you didn't know much about it either. You know.
Yeah, they probably try to keep it just because they were trying to keep me away during that time. Anyhow, they were trying to separate. You know.
And then, I lost it. Fuck, I lost the question.
That's okay. There's probably lots of them, and you know, and it was the whole thing was just one big.
So you got stoned, left everything.
Oh God, yeah, no, but I didn't realize it. We pull over like 2 hours later, you know, and I think, oh my God, man, I left my curling iron and shit, my shit, right? You know, and I go to the back of the truck, I opened it up, and I'm like, sure shit, I did. And mind you, my friend had been tossing him all these bags because they were just in a little Nova. So your dad's loading up stuff, you know, right? Well, so I don't say nothing about leaving my stuff, right? So we travel some more, and then first thing in the morning, I go to get clothes to change you guys and stuff. Man, I looked in that.
So
truck,
wait,
and there was
did
nothing.
You lose
No, everything. We did not have not one stitch of clothing.
You just said you were loading up.
Yeah, your dad says, "What the fuck was all those bags that I was loading up?" So they were their stuff. It wasn't ours, and I left everything. We were in our shittiest traveling clothes, mind you. I had left everything we owned. Like there wasn't. We had to wait till we got to Utah to even get a change of clothes. I left the diapers, the bottles, everything. I left it all. Yeah.
Do you think that you were so stoned and like this, like everything you had just went through? So getting stoned.
Yeah, because I didn't smoke. I didn't smoke weed.
Yeah.
Back then.
So do you think it was just like a release?
It was
of
just
everything,
it was just like
dumb.
La 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 la, you know. And I left it, but it was probably I needed to because I got it. Most of that stuff I got it like crookedly. Because I took it. I didn't take it. I found Mam's credit card, and I was mad at Mam. At the time, she had let me hold her credit card when we went to
Look at her talking about committing fraud.
No, I was mad at her, so I came across.
Is that why she said that you deserve what happened to me?
Oh, because she had done some crooked stuff and she knew it, and and she,
Our whole family.
Yeah, she tried to.
Foundation of.
Oh yeah, we got
crookedness,
and yeah, we got stories for sure.
A lot of other shit.
We got stories for sure. Yeah,
you turned out pretty good.
No, my children have broke the curse, and my children, all three of them, have definitely surpassed me, and surpassed a lot of people in our family.
Did any of this affect your and Dad's relationship?
Well, you know, at the time, it made it better.
Away the drinking.
Yeah, it made it better because at the time when we took off to Tennessee, it was either split now or go somewhere. You know, we were at the.
We ended up
I was working and I was like, I was over the drinking and stuff. And I think that when you got kidnapped, it was something telling us, look, there's something worse that could happen than what you guys were just going through and hating each other over.
You don't have any flyers of it? You don't have any information about it to be
we gave out every flyer.
I know what happened, but what I'm saying is you don't have anything of that.
No. All I have is that picture of what they used to make the flyers, and I left everything. Like I said, everything. I don't know if that was subconsciously.
You just want to let it all.
I mean, I left everything, and I don't leave my curling irons and stuff.
You don't have any names for these people, so I could see
John and Cheryl. I don't know. I want to say Peterson or something like that, but I don't know if that was it. But I want to say for some reason Peterson pops in my mind.
You're probably just making that up.
No. Peterson does something like that. That word that it does that just popped into my head. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You could look up.
Rachel Peterson and John.
No, Cheryl.
Rachel. See, I don't even.
Yeah, I don't even remember the names of. It's like that whole time, everybody I knew and everything is just, blank. The only good thing that came out of that was getting you back, and then, I don't know.
That's it.
Oh, that's okay.
Some years later.
All right, we never finished it. So how happened to the people?
That's the FBI. Before I even got her back, the FBI. Had come and they were talking about everything, and I had to just sign a bunch of papers. I don't know exactly what they said, but it was basically so I didn't have to show up, in court. So I didn't have to do no more. I could have my baby and go,
Okay, so you don't know what happened to them?
No, I don't have a clue.
Could be alive and free out right now.
Or they could not be because
it wasn't her.
No, it was other kids.
Imagine though. Imagine the way that the world works. They live right down the street from me. Or at one time they did. Because the possibility.
If you saw them again, would you be able to recognize them?
Maybe him.
Not her?
Because there's a lot of short blonde fuckers out there.
Yeah, you can't picture her in your head.
I just picture her blonde. She was very quiet. She wasn't.
Who do you think it was, though? Do you think it was a duo? Or do you think it was
Well, it had to be a duo.
No,
I think he was in charge. He was in charge.
And
he was more in charge.
Woman
he was more in charge.
Who just follows what he says.
Yeah, she was more of that type of woman. And he had glasses,
he wore glasses.
And he was tall and skinny, and afro curly hair.
Did he look like a psychopath?
No, They didn't look like somebody that'd rob a pawn shop and take a bunch of coins and. They didn't look like
what if that's what I remember when I said I was in the car outside a building?
No, when we heard all this stuff, we're finding out that these people were kidnapping wasn't their worst charge, they were,
Oh, yay.
And, that's why I said, one day you wake up, she's going to be found. The next day you're like, she's dead.
Because imagine the people they had me around.
And they could have, I don't know what they had.
This information's got to be on record somewhere.
No, that's what I tried to look online.
On Google and can't find it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. I know the shelter. I found all that. I found our,
But I wonder if we were in Marysville. And
we were in Marysville.
But if we went to
San Francisco,
Knoxville, we went to the Knoxville.
No,
FBI.
what I'm saying is that we went to their library or their records.
Oh, maybe there. Yeah, I've even tried to look up the radio stations, and I can't even pull that up. You know what I mean?
I look online on Google, and I can't find it either.
Yeah, but there's got to. But that was 92. in a very small
That's
town.
what I'm saying. It may
in a very small
possibly
town.
be
I
like
don't
Or
know.
they
part
No,
of
would have
why
been
wouldn't it
arrested
be?
in San Francisco, right?
Yes.
Yeah, wouldn't it be like wouldn't missing and exploited children have some kind of
Possibly.
There's
but
a
it's in the
record
air.
somewhere.
that because they paid for their flight, you know.
I mean, I'm sure there's a flight record,
Uh-huh.
at least, right?
Well, I don't know if you had to show ID and shit like that
Back then.
Yeah.
Riding the largest scooter.
Huh.
But there's got to be maybe you guys are just the dates are right. You know what I
Or
mean?
just sometimes it's you find.
I can't
things in
even find
weird ways.
the archive of the TV stations. You know, for even the Christmas
Yeah. Oh,
thing.
well, there you go. You said it was. I was
What do you
on the
mean,
news.
Christmas thing.
Do you know
When
the
we
news
were in the
channel?
shelter, and the same with Salt Lake City too. When we were at the shelter there, they asked our family if they
To
could
go on the
represent them. If our family could be the one they put out there for the donations.
What does that mean?
So they played a commercial with us on
our
the
news
commercial.
clipping with us on there. They asked our family, you know,
the
how's the
donations.
shelter? You know, what's our lives? Why we're in this thing? And they did it in Salt Lake. They asked us, and in Tennessee, they asked us too that our family looked the best. You know,
And you're saying they.
there was a newspaper and a news clipping of that because that's the one they showed when they aired her
About
being
me?
kidnapped. You know, we had a live. You know,
Do you know what news station it was?
no,
'Cause
but I tried to look at. Okay, so that was the same year that Vanilla Ice showed up at the shelter. So you would think that there would be some kind of
Oh, you're saying vanilla? You saw Vanilla Ice?
at
Yeah, we
that
got
shelter
a
there.
signature or his autograph on a thing.
Oh no, that wasn't the Tennessee one. That
That
was
was
the
in
Salt Lake.
Utah.
Yeah, Salt Lake. He showed up, but that was
On the way there.
we
On the way there.
no, we didn't.
A different year.
Oh, a different
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
next year, that was we were in.
Okay.
We moved a lot. We moved a lot, Michelle.
Yeah, we did. We moved a lot.
Well, is that everything? Does that cover everything?
Yep. Now let's find all the records. Okay.
Yeah, to find the records. It was just yeah, and then we moved to Sacramento and
And look how amazing.
and it was crazy then too. As soon as we got this, oh my goodness! Oh, because going back to reading, my friend's car broke down, so we were all wound up in my truck. The 5 of them and the 4 of us.
It sounds like I went from chaos
Just
to
chaos.
another chaotic situation, right back into another chaotic situation.
That's I don't know if I knew how to
Not live in chaos.
not chaos, just having to fix something or you know. 'Cause
Chaos is happening here now.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Show
we'll wrap
Grandma.
that up. And thank you for listening to this week's Sequel Podcast.
More to tell you some other time.